About a year ago, I wanted to start a Minecraft server for my friends, but the issue was, I wanted to play with the Create mod. Now this started me down the rabbit hole of looking for the best alternatives to Spigot or paper plugins for the FABRIC ecosystem. FABRIC's better overall because of its compatibility with all mods, as well as barely modifying the vanilla game. This is mainly shown because paper, as stated in a great video by Cubic Meter, which is in the description, modifies many behaviors of entities, players, redstone, and much more. So basically, with the FABRIC server, if somebody builds something complex and it doesn't work, you can definitely blame it on the player. So, step 1 in using a FABRIC server is you actually need a FABRIC server. So, if you have a server which you pay for on a monthly subscription, so for example Apex hosting, you can probably just go to install it on there. Whereas if you want to run it on your computer, you need to go to fabricmc.net and download it. So you want to press download and then go to Minecraft server right here, click on that, then download the jar. And I'm going to name it server.jar just for simple sake. Now right here it will give you a launch command. You just want to copy that. So I'm going to the server folder and create a new file. So right click, new text document. I'm going to call it you can call it whatever. I'm going to call it start. Press yes. Go to edit it like so, and then paste in that command which I just told you about. Now this number right here, 2G, this can be whatever you want, or this is how much RAM you want to allocate to the server. So it depends on how much RAM you can have on the server. If you're using it as your regular computer, I'd recommend, maybe 4 or 6 gigabytes, but if you're running it on a dedicated server, you can have it up to 45. For now, I'm just going to keep it at 2. Now this bit right here, this is where it's going to find the .jar file you just downloaded. So I'm going to write in server.jar. Now when I run that, it should just sort out all of the Minecraft server stuff. There you are. Now it's declined me starting the server because I haven't actually accepted the EULA. I'm just going to keep that as false for now. And I'm going to move on to step 2. Now, what I like to do is, or what you should do once you start a FABRIC server or any server, is check the server.properties and make a few edits to it. So you can open it in Notepad. I'm just going to, for simplicity's sake, open it in Visual Studio Code. So here you can change stuff like the difficulty. So I might want the difficulty to be hard. And one of the things you really want to pay attention to is the simulations distance and view distance. This changes the render distance, that's view distance, and simulation distance, which is how far the players influence the server pretty much. So the minimum you can kind of go with this is 5. So I'd have it as 5, and you can check view distance. I'd keep it at 10 if you have an underpowered server, or go for 20 possibly. But I'd go for either 10 and 20 or 5 and 10. Now once you've done that, you can just save the file and close out of it. Whenever you make a difference to server.properties, you will have to restart your server. So now the really, I'd say, meat and potatoes of a server running on FABRIC is obviously the mods, because that's the entire point of FABRIC. Now I'd recommend that you use Modrinth to download all of these mods that you use, because Modrinth is very, very quick to go around compared to CurseForge, and it doesn't require you to look at any ads, or, as a matter of fact, wait to download the files. I like to categorize mods into different things, and that's how I'm going to tell you about these. So they can be categorized as follows. I have the API or library mods, performance mods, performance with game changes mods, information or logging, and then finally tools. So the API or library mods. So these mods are required by most mods to work and are good to have installed anyways. So we have FABRIC API, FABRIC language Kotlin, and config. Just download these. You can do that by just going to see all here, go to filter versions, select the version you want to download for, and then you just download the most recent release in most cases. And you can download that straight into the tutorial server mods folder, or for me, tutorial server mods folder. Now, once you've got all of those API mods, move on to the performance mods. Now, these mods come with minimal or no differences to the game, and they are kind of required to make a server run well. Now, Lithium is the most important and is downloaded by over, as it says here, 10.98 million people. Changes lots of the game processes to make it a lot better. Now, you can just, again, download a file from either here, where it says 1.21, or somewhere else. Do not install Sodium, because Sodium is a client-side mod, and it optimizes the graphics engine of the game, whereas the server doesn't actually deal with any graphics. Noisium, well, this mod helps to make chunks load quicker on a server. C2ME allows you to optimize how chunks are generated using other cores of your computer. I'd recommend this for most likely people who are running a server on their home computer in comparison to a server on Apex hosting or somewhere else. FABRIC Core, it kind of improves how the RAM's used, which is very handy because RAM is quite important when it comes to a server, and it helps with mainly mod packs. Now I'm going to move on to the performance mods with game changers. So first one is clumps. So clumps helps for XP orbs to not be separate entities, which helps with just server performance again. This does kind of mean that you can splash an entire stack of XP bottles using a mod and you absorb all of them at once, which is quite cheaty. So bear that in mind when you're adding this. Server core. This is one that I personally use quite a lot. So it has many different things, like this feature called villager lobotomization, which makes villagers in a 1x1 not update as often. So it's good if people have a big trading hall, but it's really bad for re-rolling. It also allows you to change the render and simulations distance by doing a slash command, which is very handy for, say, the start of a server. Then chunky. This is kind of a split between it being a tool and a performance mod, but it allows you to pre-generate chunks. So basically it makes it so the server doesn't have to deal with so many people loading chunks if they're, say, running in different directions at the start of a server. It does take up a lot of storage though, and it does take time to pre-generate these chunks. I'm going to move on to the information and logging section. Now, these mods, I'd say, are an admin's best friend. They're better on a server where you don't trust the people on them. The first mod is Ledger, and it can be used to log all block changes, rollbacks, specific areas of world, and check information about a player. It's good to find who griefed anything or stole from chests. Bark, this mod actually comes with paper and within paper, and it allows you to log what's causing lag and where it is, so it can help you find lag machines, and it can also tell people's ping and TPS. So TPS and MSPT, I'll give you a quick rundown. They're both measures of how well the game is running or the server's running. TPS, which stands for ticks per second, should be, on a healthy server, 20. Not above and ideally not below. You can measure TPS as a kind of speed. 20 is regular speed, 15 is 3/4 of the speed, and 10 is half speed. So for example, if you're at 10 TPS, it takes you twice as long to eat a piece of steak than it would if you were at 20. And MSPT, or milliseconds per tick, ideally wants to be below 50 and tells you how long it takes for the game to tick, which is related to TPS and run speed. Now, the next one is textile backup, which could be classed as a tool. What it does is it helps you to make backups for your server. And the final one for information and logging is Discord MC chat. Now, this does what it sounds like, where it links your Discord to your game chat, and I find it very handy because it allows you to monitor your server from anywhere. It can log console information, so anything that's related to your server starting or crashing, and it can also log any commands which have been run or stuff which has been said in chat. You can also run commands from Discord using /console, and you can see the online players as shown right here, as well as the TPS, the MSPT, and the RAM that's being used. I can make a tutorial on setting this up if people say so in the comments, because there isn't really a video tutorial, but you can kind of go through the docs right here. Now, this is the biggest section. It's tools, and these are mods which I can't really categorize, or if I did have to categorize them, it would take me a while. So the first one on this list is the carpet mod. So carpet mod is very good. It allows you to, as it says here, take control over your vanilla game. It can allow you to check MSPT and TPS. It can allow you to spawn fake players, so good for videos, and allows players online to enable a server auto clicker. So from their side, without having to do anything like an auto clicker, you can just click in game or attack, which is very handy. Anti-logout is a better combat log plugin, I think. So instead of killing the player, for example, it actually keeps them in the game. So basically from the player's side, it looks like the person's still in the game, even if the person who is in combat is already logged out. Seed Guard is a relatively new mod, and it basically prevents your world from being seed cracked by somebody with a seed cracking mod by changing where structures are placed. So this is quite a big mod. It can change a lot, but from my experience, it's really good at changing all of that stuff, but making it look vanilla. Voice chat. This is one that quite a few servers use. This is, and it allows you to, speak in game. As you can see right here, it works with groups, voice chat, everything. Any voice chat that you see on somebody's channel uses this. You can find many YouTube tutorials on how to set it up. Enderpearl cooldown is actually a mod that I've made, or I didn't make, but I commissioned, and it changes. It's good for PvP servers where you can change Enderpearl cooldown. So you can make it 5 seconds, 10 seconds, however long you want. This mod's kind of a more admin-y mod. It's called Vanish. Funnily enough, it allows you to vanish and makes you invisible, and you aren't seen online. You can't really interact with the game. So this is really good to watch people who may be X-raying without them knowing that you are that you're online. Another mod which is more like Vanish is inventory view, where you can see stuff in an inventory. You can see here that this right here, these are demonstrations. You can modify people's ender chests, inventories, change all of that. And you can only do this obviously if you're hooked. Anti-X-ray makes X-ray texture packs or mods look really, really freaky and stops players from being able to X-ray, funnily enough. Image to map, this is another one that some people want to use. You can put images on a map, good for lore-intensive purposes. World edit, it allows op players to, use world edit. If you don't know what world edit is, you can Google online. Allows you to basically customize the world a lot easier. Via FABRIC, this is a version of Via version, which allows you to have newer clients to the server that you're on play. So that's a pretty bad way. Say you're in the server's on 1.14, you can then join in 1.20. And the final one for tools is Vein Miner, and this allows you to, there you are, mine an entire vein of blocks at once with one pickaxe swing. I'm going to now do some honorable mentions, or some notable mentions for developers. So Jelly Squid makes made sodium, lithium, phosphor and hydrogen. They're all great mods. They're absolutely incredible. Ceruleum. I haven't actually mentioned any of this person's mods, but they're very handy. A lot of people use them. They do interesting things, like they make very non-vanilla mods, but they can be ran on the server side. So like infinite trading, or campfire mods. And now I'll move on how to configure the mods. So for this example, I'm going to use my Enderpearl cooldown mod. So you can see that it's created a config folder, and in here you can find all of the mod configs. So once you have quite a few mods, it might go, you'll have a massive amount, but you can open this either in your FTP file program on, say, Apex hosting, or on your computer. You can open it in Notepad, or I'm going to open it with Visual Studio Code. Now here you can see most of the time it'll be well documented on the mod page or in the file. You can see here I can just change the file, the information, so that will now make the cooldown an ender pearl 10 seconds. I just save that, close out of it, and then the important bit is that you always have to restart the server whenever you change a mod config for Fabric. Now I've decided that I'm going to add a couple of extra goodies to this tutorial, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is data packs. So you can find quite a few nice data packs at vanillatweaks.net, and you just go to data packs and you can select all of these different things. So like player head drops, double shulker shells, unlockable recipes, multiplayer sleep, fast leaf decay, and then you can download that and install them onto your server, so in the data packs folder. If you use /tick freeze in game, it stops the day from progressing and animals from moving. So for example, if you haven't started a server or you're waiting to start a server, that can help stop the time from advancing and it being day 40 by the time you start a server. You can do /world border set and then the number distance from one side to the other in blocks, and then a time after that to make the world border slowly increase instead of instantly being that big. mcstacker.net is a really good command generator, so you can use this to create, for example, raw commands, so that's very handy. You also have mcstacker murals, which is very good because say you want to put a sign or a logo at spawn, you can use this to do that. Just make sure to probably exclude netherite and move them over here. You need a tutorial on how to use this, I can make one. I can also make a tutorial on how to add resource packs to a server, but just let me know if you'd like that in the description. If you'd like custom recipes for your server, so for example if you wanted to make a trident recipe, you can either use this generator off Misode, or you can use this website right here, and you can just very easily say trident, iron block, for example, iron block, and then prismarine. Say that that's how you craft a trident, for example. You can also make a quick logo for your server using Blockbench. Yeah, here we are, using their Minecraft title, who are using a Minecraft title plugin. And that's really easy to do. So I can create something like tutorial SMP. Then it gives you a preview. You can make it whatever you want. User friendly. You just press finish and it puts it in here. You can render it out. As well as this, if you like any other mods, I found some of the mods on this list from this website right here, where it shows you a load of server-side mods which you can filter. So you can go for Modrinth, up to date, and it shows you all of these mods in a nice list which you can scroll down and look at. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope it helped. If it did, you can check this Google Doc that I'm reading off in the description for all of the links to the mods and more. Please like, comment and subscribe if you like the video, because it does show you appreciate the countless hours I've spent hunting for these mods. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can go to my Patreon in the description and subscribe to me helping make more tutorials. My Discord is at SamADC for anyone who would like to ask any questions about a mod or anything, and I will try to help. So again, thank you very much for watching, and that is it. Bye-bye.